Lieutenant Commander Elias. Rowe didn't expect much when he stepped off the transport and into the silence of observation platform Thatnine. The place felt forgotten. Dim lights, empty halls, and dust floating in the low-gravity air. No welcome committee, no other officers. Just one long hallway that led to the command deck. His boots echoed as he walked. The mission sounded simple. Monitor a decommissioned simulation program the Galactic Council had used centuries ago, just to ensure the old systems didn't decay or leak signals. Thatnine hadn't been active in over 300 years. Rowe was told he'd be babysitting a museum. But from the moment he entered, he felt something was off. The station was too quiet, not broken, just still, like it was waiting for something. He reached the central control hub and found a single glowing interface already online. Strange. It should have required manual boot up. The AI flickered to life on a cracked screen above the console, forming a vague blue face. "Welcome, Lieutenant Commander Rowe," it said. "Observation status: active. Simulation core: dormant. Protocol echo: pending." Rowe blinked. "Protocol echo?" The AI paused. "Access restricted." He frowned. No one had told him about a protocol echo. He tapped through the interface. Most files were locked, but one folder pulsed faintly in the corner of the screen. CHOOO. It was buried deep in the system, tagged as archived experimental model. He tried to open it. "Authorization required," the AI repeated. Rowe leaned back. "Let's try something simple," he muttered. "System check. Report on all files last accessed within 24 hours. Last access, 13 minutes ago," the AI answered. His pulse quickened. "By whom?" "Lieutenant Commander Elias Rowe?" He hadn't touched anything yet. Before he could respond, the interface glitched. The lights in the room dimmed. The AI's face vanished, placed by lines of ancient code scrolling fast. A low hum began to build beneath the floor. "What the hell is happening?" Rowe asked. "Simulation initializing," the AI said flatly. "Project revival sequence engaged. Scenario 1A. Defensive doctrine evaluation." He backed away from the console. "I didn't authorize that. Human variable detected," it said. "Input channel unlocked." A 3D holographic star map rose from the center of the room. Dozens of tiny ships lit up across the grid: blue, red, and one unknown force in gray. Text scrolled beside it. "Legacy simulation model. Conflict Zone 7. Expect by. Updated with predictive threat index." Rowe stared at it, not sure whether he should stop it or let it run. The program was ancient, but somehow it had chosen him. His wrist communicator buzzed. A priority alert from Council Relay Node E6 subject. Unauthorized simulation detected. Location THETA 9 status. Investigation en route. Do not shut down. Observe only. They know already, Rowe whispered. The moment this thing activated, it triggered a signal one strong enough to travel across deep space. He turned back to the star map. The gray fleet had begun moving. The AI reappeared. "Human, please advise. Unknown threat. Approaching Council. Positions. Tactical input required." "I'm not here to play general," Rowe said, shaking his head. "Input required," it repeated. "Historical pattern, failure rate, 94%. Human input recognized as anomaly. Recommend variable insertion." Rowe hesitated. "What do you mean, historical pattern failure?" "Council fleets fail to adapt. Fixed response leads to collapse. Simulation ends with extinction." That word hung in the air. "Extinction? Whose extinction?" he asked. The AI stared blankly for a second. "Council civilizations? All known models terminated by unknown threat?" Rowe looked back at the star map. If this was just a simulation, it was deeply flawed, terrifyingly accurate. He stepped closer, examining the layout. The Council fleets were arranged in classic patterns: tight, defensive, centralized leadership, efficient but predictable. The gray fleet was splitting into uneven groups, weaving between asteroid fields and orbiting moons. They were playing the long game. Without realizing it, Rowe began to trace possible moves on the interface. He He used his fingers to mark a flanking path, sending 2 smaller council ships in a wide arc the moment he made the move. The gray fleet shifted. The AI spoke again. Adaptive reaction recorded. Unknown force has reprioritized engagement vectors. Probability of council survival increased by 11%. Wait, Rowe said slowly. This thing's not just simulating war, it's learning from me. Initiating. Protocol echo, the AI responded. Human input accepted. Tactical variable locked. Suddenly, a red light began flashing across the main wall. A message scrolled in glowing alien script, then translated. Human influence detected. Revival active. Notify Council Command. And then a final line appeared. Project Revival. Defense Rehearsal Number 01. Now live. Rowe stepped back. He hadn't come to Thatnine to command, came to watch. But now the simulation had chosen him, and it was no longer a game. And far beyond Thatnine, across the stars, something else had noticed the activation, and it had just turned to look back. Asterisk, Lieutenant? Commander Rowe didn't sleep that night. The station's lights stayed dim, the air still. Every few minutes, the AI softly repeated status updates from the simulation, like it was waiting for him to respond. The star map in the command room remained active, glowing softly. Gray Fleetha, unknown enemy, was still moving, still adapting, and the Council's ships were losing. He sat alone in front of the console, fixed on the simulation's live feed. It didn't feel like a training program anymore. The way the enemy reacted to every move he made felt too real. It wasn't just code running, it was thinking, testing. The AI's voice returned. Council Command Fleet en route. Its estimated arrival in 9 hours. Of course they were coming. The moment Protocol Echo activated, it triggered alarms across Council territory. Thatnine was supposed to be dark, quiet, not alive, and definitely not accepting human input. He rubbed his face and stood, pacing the deck. What even is this thing? Project Revival, the AI answered, as if it had been waiting for him to ask. Initiated 312 years ago after the first contact event near the galactic rim. Rowe froze. First contact with what? The AI paused, almost like it didn't want to answer. Unknown hostile force. Contact resulted in the loss of 43 exploratory vessels. Survivors reported advanced adaptive combat strategies. All records classified, and Earth was never told. Earth was not part of the Council at the time. Turn back to the star map. So this whole project? It was built to study that threat. Yes. Original models failed. Fixed strategies led to rapid defeat. Revival designed to test. Unpredictable input to learn. And now you think I'm unpredictable? Correct? He laughed bitterly. Great, so I'm your wild card. The AI didn't respond. The simulation's gray fleet began another shift, pushing deep into Council lines. The virtual defenders followed protocol, reorganizing their formations, coordinating their response. But they moved like they were reading a manual, predictable, controlled. The enemy why sense? Rowe tapped a few commands, opening a side interface, reviewed the movement logs from the past few hours. The gray fleet had begun isolating ships, cutting off communication lines, and striking fast and hard. He frowned. He had seen this before. Back on Earth, during the Eurasian conflict. An enemy unit had used similar tactics: disrupt, isolate, overwhelm, but that was ground warfare. Cities and bridges, not stars and battlecruisers. Still, the idea was the same. He leaned forward. Give me control of Council Squadron Beta 7. Limited input granted. He quickly split the unit into 3 smaller groups, each moving in separate directions. One moved directly into the enemy's path. The others circled around. The gray fleet adjusted instantly, but not in the way Rowe expected. They pulled back. He stared. They're avoiding it. Enemy fleet adapting to potential trap scenario. First recorded retreat behavior. Human. Tactic triggered new response. Rowe sat back slowly. The sim wasn't just watching, it was changing, and not just the enemy. The Council ships, too, had begun to adjust. Beta 7's new pattern rippled across the rest of the defense grid. Simulation was rewriting itself based on one action. He felt a knot in his chest. This wasn't just about tactics. It was a mirror. The AI chimed again. Incoming transmission. Council Vessel Justice's Flame arriving in orbit. Ambassador Corvain requests immediate debrief. Rowe sighed. Let's get this over with. 10 minutes later, the docking bay lights lit up for the first time in centuries. The shuttle landed cleanly, and 3 figures stepped out. Tall and sharp in polished armor. The lead one, a pale being with golden eyes and a voice like ice, approached him quickly. You are Elias Rowe, the ambassador said. Not a question. Yes. Sir? You initiated Project Revival? No, Rowe said. It initiated itself. Corvin's eyes narrowed. Do not play games, Commander. You accessed files long sealed? You gave input? I followed a hunch, Rowe said. And now your old simulation is awake and asking questions no one seems ready to answer. Corvain looked past him, toward the glowing star map. That program was locked for a reason. It was built on fear, on failure. We buried it for peace. Maybe you buried the wrong thing, Rowe said. It just showed me something. The Council's tactics fail every time. The AI's predicting collapse. Now it's learning from me. You are not authorized to command Council simulations. Then tell the AI, Rowe said, because it's listening to me now, not you. There was silence, a long one. Corvain finally turned to his guards. Bring the sim offline. Now, warning, the AI blared. Forced shutdown will corrupt predictive model. Council defeat probability, 99.2%. Rowe stepped forward. You need to see this through. Whatever this thing is trying to show us, it matters? Corvain stared at him. Then, a loud alarm rang out through the platform. Simulation breach. External signal detected. Unknown origin. Tracking trajectory. Real. Space. Rowe's blood went cold. The Grey Fleet wasn't just a model anymore. It had sent out a call, and something in the dark was answering. Asterisk, the alarm kept blaring. Red lights pulsed through the control deck as the AI repeated the warning in its calm. Voice external signal confirmed. Unknown origin. Vector. Approaching Council space. Estimated contact time. 11 days. Rowe stared at the star map. The simulation was still running, but now it had a shadow. A new red icon blinked outside the holographic zone, slowly getting closer. It wasn't part of the simulation. This was real. Ambassador Corvain looked furious. This is impossible. That simulation has no ability to transmit or receive external data. The AI replied instantly. Correction. Revival AI core linked to long-range passive array. External signal activated by predictive match. Threat profile 76% consistent with archival data. You mean the threat from 300 years ago? Rowe said, his voice low. Yes, the AI answered. Confirmed. Corvain turned to his team. Shut it down now, before it spreads further. No. Rowe stepped between them. If you shut it down, we lose everything it's showing us. You saw what it predicted. Your fleets, your tactics, they all fail. Over and over again. This thing is giving us a warning. It's an old AI model, Corvain snapped. It's built from fear and old war trauma. It's unstable, dangerous. Your presence is already contaminating its systems. Rowe shook his head. No, I'm the reason it's working. It was designed to learn from something new, something different. And right now, it's learning from me. That's why it woke up. Before Corvain could respond, one of his officers spoke. Sir, the unknown signal. It's accelerating. Everyone turned to the display. The red icon was moving faster now, heading straight toward Council territory. The ship, or whatever it was no longer just drifting. It had changed course, like it had noticed them. Trajectory update, the AI said. Target expected to pass within communication range in 6 days. Rowe looked at Corvain. Still think this is just a simulation? Corvain didn't answer. Instead, he turned to the guards again, sent a full report to the High Council. We need clearance to shut this entire platform down. Rowe clenched his fists. You're making a mistake. Corvin's cold eyes narrowed. You've already made 1. Speaking to an AI like it's your equal. But before anyone could move, the AI interrupted again. Attention. Simulation grid breach. Unauthorized entity detected inside virtual model. What? Rowe said. You mean the sim's been hacked? Not hacked, the AI answered. Penetrated. Foreign logic patterns inserted into predictive model. Origin unknown. The map changed again. The gray fleet inside the simulation, which had always moved like shadows, suddenly shifted into a tighter formation. They began attacking faster, smarter, and this time, they weren't reacting to council ships. They were targeting Rowe's moves directly. He felt a chill run down his spine. They're watching me. Confirmed, the AI said. Pattern response. Mirror logic. Human tactic replication detected. Corvain looked shaken. You're saying the enemy is inside the simulation? Rowe turned toward him. The simulation was never just fake. What if it's been watching real enemy behavior the whole time, just based on fragments? What if this thing coming toward us knows us already? No one answered outside the window. The darkness of space looked the same, still, quiet. But now Rowe couldn't shake the feeling that something was out there, something ancient and curious. AI, he said. Can we isolate the foreign? Code. Attempting failure. It is evolving. Encryption recursive. Logic tree incomplete. It's learning, Rowe muttered. Same as us. A moment passed, then the AI spoke again. New file unlocked. Source protocol echo audio. Message date stamped 312 years ago. Rowe stepped closer. The AI screen flickered. Then a voice crackled through the speakers. Female, weary, but calm. This is Commander Solus, that 9. If you're hearing this, they found us again. Thought we erased enough. Thought we had time. But the simulations never lied. The enemy doesn't forget. They adapt. They wait. When they come back, they'll be faster than before. The message ended. Everyone stood in silence. Rowe finally spoke. She was the last human posted here before the platform. Was sealed, wasn't she? Correct, the AI said. And she knew. Back then, she saw the pattern. Corvain didn't speak. His gaze had drifted to the approaching signal. Rowe looked at the star map again. We need to keep running this simulation. Keep testing. Keep learning. Whatever's coming. Can't fight it using your rules. Corvain didn't look at him, but he didn't give the shutdown order either. The red icon on the outer rim blinked again, and for the first time, it sent a signal back. Message 1 line appeared on the screen in ancient code. The AI translated, "We remember your mind." Rowe thought for a moment. AI expands SIM parameters. Use Earth's historical data. All conflicts include asymmetric warfare, guerrilla tactics, even resistance movements. No filtering. Processing, the AI said. Corvain raised an eyebrow. Guerrilla tactics? That's ancient. Exactly, Rowe said. Too ancient for them to expect. If we can build a new model, we might find a weakness. A new map unfolded on the display, now filled with Earth's past wars, chaotic, messy, and unpredictable. Cities turned battlefields, small forces toppling larger ones. Survival against impossible odds. Rowe tapped into one simulation. An old war where a force of under-equipped fighters outlasted a superpower using sabotage and fake surrender. It wasn't clean, but it worked. That, he said, is what they don't understand. Corvain watched as the model played out. You think we can beat them with this? Maybe not beat them, Rowe said, but stall them, confuse them. By time, the AI flickered. New simulation variant accepted. Running adaptation tests. 8. The enemy fleet inside the sim adjusted once more, but this time, they seemed slower. Their reaction lagged. They missed opportunities. Their targeting was off. Rowe leaned in. It's working. Corvain stepped forward. Then we need to prepare Earth. They'll need strategies ready before contact. Rowe typed quickly into the console. Message to Earth uploaded. Tactical. Data included. Sim logs attached. Time-stamped and verified. The AI confirmed. Transmission sent. Secure line to Earth command initiated. He let out a breath. At least they'll know what's coming. Don't count on the council. To protect you, Corvain said. They'll debate, they'll delay. That's what they do. I'm not waiting for them, Rowe said. The AI suddenly made a warning chime. New message received. Everyone turned. The red icon on the map pulsed again. We remember you. Another pulse. We learn faster now. And then a third message. 7 days. Corvin's voice dropped. They're giving a countdown. Or a challenge, Rowe said. Or a promise. The AI flickered again. Simulation breached. External signal now influencing SIM directly. Logic tree disrupted. Council protocols overridden. Override. Corvain said sharply. Yes. The AI replied, Enemy has injected a logic trap. Simulation ending in 60 seconds unless purged. Rowe didn't hesitate. Cut the enemy input. Isolate the logic chain. Attempting. The AI's voice slowed. Successful. The star map glitched and returned. Simulation stable. External link severed for now. Rowe sat back, exhaling. That was close. Corvain stared at him. They're inside our systems, Commander. Not just watching. Rewriting. Rowe stood. Then we stop waiting. No more hiding behind simulations. We make a plan. A real one. And what will your plan be? Corvain asked. Rowe turned to him, eyes steady. Survive. The red icons kept blinking. The enemy was still. Out there, watching, waiting, learning. But now, so was Earth. Asterisk, that number stayed in Rowe's mind like a drumbeat. Not just a countdown. A threat. A message. A line drawn across the stars. The Council still hadn't responded. Corvain had sent the official report, but nothing came back except a cold, standard reply. Reviewed. Await further instruction. Rowe didn't wait. He spent the next 12 hours locked in the control chamber with the AI, running simulations non-stop. Different formations, different weapons, different minds. He used every trick he could remember from Earth's past trap warfare. Fake retreats, miscommunication strategies, even ancient sea battle tactics. Sometimes they worked. Sometimes they didn't. But when they did work, it wasn't because of strength. It was because of confusion, deception, fear. The kinds of things Council fleets weren't trained to use. The AI learned to die. It began suggesting old Earth methods. Combining guerrilla war with orbital movement patterns, Rowe started to feel less like a test subject and more like a partner. Until the AI said something strange. Human variable, stable. Neural patterns aligned, memory link reestablished. Rowe blinked. What memory link? The screen glowed. A face appeared, grainy, flickering. A recording, it was her. Commander Solas, is this real? Rowe whispered. Recording recovered. From a restricted node, the AI replied. Solas looked tired in the video. Her voice was quiet. If you're seeing this, then it found you too. You think you're the first? You're not. The enemy doesn't just fight. It watches, learns. It found me, and now it's found you. Rowe swallowed hard. I tried to stop it. Failed. But maybe you won't. Use my patterns. Use what I couldn't finish. The AI remembers everything. I hid the failsafe deep in the combat tree.
Out.
The screen went black. Rowe turned to the console. Locate Solas's failsafe protocol. Confirmed. Locked. Node discovered. Authorization required. By who? The lights dimmed for a moment. Then the AI said, by you. Why me? Your neural input matches residual imprint from Solas's final session. DNA compatibility? 86%? Rowe stared. We're related? Possibly. Genetic connection? Unknown. Lot. He took a deep breath. Unlock it. A second later, the screen changed. A new simulation scenario loaded, one, unlike any of the others. This one wasn't just a test. It was a trap, designed to reverse the learning curve, to trick the enemy into thinking it had one just before it broke itself. Solas hadn't just fought them. She'd planted a weapon inside their own minds. Why didn't you use this before? Rowe asked. The Council forbade it, the AI replied. Too unpredictable. Too human. Rowe smiled. That's exactly why we'll use it. Corvain returned just as Rowe finished setting the trap sim in motion. His face was pale. The council finally replied, he said, and they said, do not engage, do not escalate, do not provoke. Rowe laughed bitterly. They still think this is about diplomacy. They think it's about not making the same mistake again. Last time, we responded too slow. This time, they'd rather freeze and pretend nothing is happening. Rowe shook his head. Well, I'm not waiting. Corvain didn't stop him. I'm not either. Together they reviewed the failsafe protocol. It worked by letting the enemy think it had broken through all defenses, then triggered a cascade of false data that would cause it to loop back on itself. An endless maze of wrong conclusions. A way to confuse a mind that had no fear but too much pride. We'll call it the mirror net, Rowe said. We let them see what they want to see, or it eats them alive. Corvain nodded. We'll need to test it. Fast. The AI began the new simulation. The enemy fleet engaged the fake council fleet, moving quickly, confidently. Then the trap activated. The enemy ships paused, then adjusted, then paused again. Their formation broke. Their targeting failed. The fleet spun off course. The AI's voice was calm. Target logic disrupted. Mirror protocol successful. Learning error triggered. Rowe grinned. They just got confused. For now, Corvain said, but when they realize it's a trick, they'll come faster. Rowe looked at the real star map. The enemy contact was closer now. 6 days, the AI said. We'll need to send the MirrorNet plan to Earth, Rowe said. Every command center, every colony, yet every soldier. Corvain nodded. Already. Done, they're listening now. The two men stood in silence. Then the AI spoke again. New signal detected. Rowe turned sharply. Another ship? No, the AI replied. It's a message from them. A new line of text appeared. See your mirror? We will break it. Rowe's eyes narrowed. They know. They always do, Corvain said. But so do we. The words on the screen didn't fade. We see your mirror. We will break it. Rowe stood frozen, reading it again and again. They knew. The enemy wasn't fooled for long. The mirror net had worked, but only for a moment. They're adapting. Again, he said quietly. Corvain stared at the map. The red icons were closer now. No more drifting. No more testing. The enemy was moving with purpose. Fast. 6 days had become 5 AI. Show us new enemy patterns, Rowe said. The simulation zoomed in. The enemy formations had changed again. Now they were spread out, probing multiple directions, not following any single route. They were trying to find the real one, the unpredictable one. They're doing what we did, Corvain said. They're trying to become us. Rowe nodded. They're learning chaos. For a few seconds, neither of them said a word. Then Rowe stepped forward and began typing. He wasn't going to wait anymore. He started uploading everything the MirrorNet. Solus's failsafe, the new unpredictable strategies, into a wider broadcast system. The message wasn't just for Earth anymore. It was for anyone who would listen, any colony, any station, any mind that might survive what came next. Are you sure? Corvain asked. Rowe nodded. If we're going down, we're not going alone. Let every world see what we're fighting. Let them learn what we learned. The AI confirmed the data stream. Galactic net connection established. Transmission sent to 67 listening posts. Earth has acknowledged. Response. Preparing. It was strange. Just a few days ago, Rowe was alone on this platform. Just an observer. But now, humanity was preparing for a war the Council had tried to hide in. It was all because he refused. To sit quietly, Corvain checked his personal device. Earth just moved 3 of its ships to the outer line. They're setting traps based on your MirrorNet. Rowe exhaled. Then maybe, just maybe. The lights flickered. The AI's voice cut through the moment. Multiple contacts detected. Enemy vessels have split. New trajectories confirmed. Primary target. Corvain cursed under his breath. They're not testing anymore. They're attacking, Rowe said. He turned back to the simulation. AI run one last projection. Use all data. What happens if they reach Earth in current formation? Numbers loaded quickly. It wasn't good. Probability of planetary survival, 3.4%. The room went silent. Rowe felt it in his bones. All his strategies, all his planning, all the learning, it had slowed the enemy down. It's not stopped them. Corvain looked at him. Then what do we do? Rowe stared at the simulation for a long moment. His mind was racing every war he ever studied, every story Solas recorded, every tactic Earth had used just to survive. Then an idea hit him, a final move, something reckless, something human. He turned to the console. AI, transfer Mirrornet to real space drones. All we need is one fleet, one decoy, one final trap. There's no time, Corvain said. Rowe looked at him. There's always time to make one last mistake the enemy doesn't expect. Corvain smiled faintly. That sounds like Earth talking. Rowe tapped a sequence of commands. The platform's old weapons meant for simulation only were redirected. Not to shoot, but to beam out fake signals. Patterns the enemy would read as fleet movement. Targets too good to ignore. The AI activated the array. Decoy protocols online. Signal distortion initiated. On the map, the enemy fleet shifted. Again. Rowe watched them peel off, chasing shadows. It's working, he said. Some of them are turning, Corvain added. Not all, but enough, the AI confirmed. Time to impact with Earth increased by 28 hours. Rowe leaned back. It's not much, but it might be just enough. Suddenly, a new signal lit up the map. Blue icons, human ships, Earth's fleet. Had arrived early? 3 cruisers and 1 recon vessel, the AI said. Message from Earth Command, ready to engage. Rowe felt his heart tighten. They weren't the biggest ships. They weren't the best, but they were ours. He opened the channel. You'll be outnumbered. Stay on the edge. Hit and fade. Let the Mirrornet do the rest. The response came clear. Copy that. Let's confuse the bastards. Rowe smiled. Hours passed. The enemy advanced. The human fleet danced around them, hitting weak points, disappearing into asteroid belts. The Mirrornet spread across space like a cloud of lies, making the enemy chase shadows. And one by one, the red icons blinked out by the time the Council arrived late and confused. The battle had already shifted. The enemy was still out there, but now they were slowed, disoriented. Learning had limits, especially when the humans kept changing the game. Rowe stood beside Corvain on the command deck, watching the stars. You know, Corvain said, this wasn't supposed to happen. Rowe nodded. A quiet beep came from the console. Another. Message from Earth. They're retreating. And finally, the stars felt quiet again. Rowe sat down, tired but alive. Maybe they hadn't won, but they hadn't lost. Not this time, and next time. They'd be ready.